Welcome to our channel. Prepare yourself for an enlightening and transformative experience as you listen to Brian Tracy's profound insights on self-image and personal development. Today, you'll discover how the way you perceive yourself internally dictates your success externally. So sit back, relax, and allow Brian to guide you on a journey of self-discovery and empowerment.
You've likely come across the idea of self-image psychology, a principle that tells us we always perform on the outside in a manner that aligns with how we view ourselves on the inside. This is a fundamental truth that cannot be overstated. Until you change the way you see yourself internally, there will be no lasting improvement in your external performance. It's as if our internal self-image is a blueprint that dictates everything we do, every action we take, and every result we achieve. Consider this: men and women who achieve success in their adult lives often share a common habit. They immerse themselves in the stories of other successful individuals during their formative years. They read biographies and autobiographies of people who have made significant contributions to the world, people who have lived lives of value and purpose. As they read, they don't just passively absorb the information, they actively imagine themselves in the shoes of these successful figures, doing the things they did, overcoming the challenges they faced. These stories become ingrained in their unconscious minds, forming a model of what it means to be a person of worth and achievement. This is what we call the self-ideal. The self-ideal is incredibly important. It serves as a guiding star, a vision of who you could become if you embraced the qualities you admire most in others. When you ask yourself, what traits do I admire in other people? You are really asking, what traits am I striving to embody in my own life? These qualities become your standard of excellence, the attributes you seek to emulate as you move through life. Let's delve deeper into the concept of self-image. Your self-image is essentially the way you see yourself right now, in the present moment. It is your mental picture of yourself, formed from all the experiences, beliefs, and thoughts you've accumulated over your lifetime. And here's the thing, this self-image is like a thermostat. It controls the level of success and happiness you experience in life. If your self-image is set too low, you will unconsciously sabotage your efforts to rise above it. But if you raise that image, if you start to see yourself as more capable, more deserving, more successful, you will begin to act in ways that align with that new image. Let me share a story to illustrate this point. A friend of mine, an accomplished athlete, once asked me for advice on how he could improve his performance in karate competitions. He was talented, but his nerves often got the better of him. I taught him a simple three-part mental preparation technique, which involved affirmation, visualization, and physical stance. It was a straightforward approach, yet incredibly powerful. He walked into his next competition with a completely transformed mindset, no longer plagued by doubts or fear. The result, he won 2 silver medals. The difference in his performance was like night and day, and it all stemmed from a quick yet profound shift in his thinking. This method isn't just for athletes. It can be applied to any situation where you need to perform at your best, whether it's making a sales call, interviewing for a job, or giving a presentation. The ability to make a rapid transition in your mindset can be the key to achieving extraordinary results. We'll explore this technique in greater detail later, but for now, remember this: all improvement in your outer world begins with an improvement in your self-image. There's an old saying that goes, if you want to be thin, you have to think thin. What this means is that you must start by visualizing yourself as the person you want to become. Imagine seeing pictures of people with the kind of body you aspire to have, and then placing your face on their bodies. This might sound trivial, but it's incredibly effective. By seeing this image repeatedly on your refrigerator, your mirror, in your briefcase, your subconscious mind starts to accept it as reality. And when your mind believes it, your body begins to follow suit. Your appetite changes, your cravings diminish, and you start making healthier choices without even realizing it. The power of visualization is truly remarkable, and we'll delve into this concept in more detail later. Now let's discuss self-esteem, which is closely related to self-image, but distinct in its own right. Your self-esteem is how you feel about yourself, and it is the single most important determinant of your success and happiness in life. It's been said that self-esteem is like the foundation of a building. Everything else is built upon it. If the foundation is strong, the building stands tall and firm. But if the foundation is weak, the building is prone to collapse. The best definition of self-esteem I've come across is simply this: how much you like yourself. It sounds simple, but it's incredibly profound. The way you feel about yourself determines how you behave, how you interact with others, and how much you're willing to push yourself to achieve your goals. I recall a woman who attended one of my seminars. She came up to me afterward and shared how, for years, she struggled with low self-esteem. Her mother had treated her poorly, and as a result, she couldn't bring herself to say the words, "I like myself." Every time she tried, a wave of negative emotions would overwhelm her. But one day, she had a breakthrough. Instead of just saying, "I like myself," she took it a step further and declared, "I love myself." The change was instantaneous and dramatic. It was as if a weight had been lifted off her shoulders. She described it as the sun rising in her life, washing away all the bitterness and resentment she had carried for so long. The more you affirm to yourself, "I like myself," the more your overall self-concept improves. And as your self-concept rises, so does your ability to perform at higher levels in every area of your life. It's like a domino effect. The more you like yourself, the better you do in every aspect of your life. You become a better parent, a better friend, a better leader. Your memory sharpens, your creativity flourishes, and your effectiveness skyrockets. I like to think of this as the reactor core of your personality. When it's fully activated, you become the best version of yourself, radiating energy, confidence, and joy. There's often a concern that too much self-esteem can lead to arrogance or being overly self-centered, but this is a misconception. True self-esteem is not about thinking you're better than others. It's about being at peace with who you are. People with high self-esteem are not preoccupied with themselves. Rather, they are free to focus on others. They are more likely to be compassionate, understanding, and supportive because they feel secure in themselves. Think back to your school days. Do you remember the kids who were always surrounded by friends, the ones who seemed to be at the center of everything? These were often the kids with high self-esteem. They were confident, happy, and had a natural ability to make others feel good about themselves. This wasn't because they were arrogant or self-absorbed. It was because they genuinely liked themselves, and that positivity was infectious. Cultivating a strong self-image and high self-esteem is not just important, it's essential. You can start this process today by simply saying, "I like myself," as often as you can. Make it a habit, a daily ritual. When I first started practicing this, I would say it 10, 20, even 50 times a day. My self-esteem was so low that I needed to constantly remind myself of my worth. But with each repetition, I felt my confidence grow. And when life threw challenges my way, when I faced setbacks or encountered difficult people, I would repeat those words, "I like myself." This simple affirmation has the power to override negative thoughts because your mind can only hold one thought at a time. We are all born with the potential for greatness. Each child comes into this world unique, with a deep need for love and security. When children cry, it's not always because they need something physical like food or a diaper change. Often, they are seeking reassurance. They want to know if they are safe, if they are loved. The role of parents is crucial in these early years as they lay the foundation for the child's self-concept. A child who receives love, attention, and positive reinforcement develops a strong sense of self-worth that carries them through life. Unfortunately, many adults spend their lives trying to compensate for the lack of love they experienced as children. If they didn't receive enough affection and reassurance, they often grow up feeling insecure, unworthy, and constantly seeking validation from others. Modern psychology tells us that many of the problems we face as adults can be traced back to love that was withheld during those formative years. Children need love like plants need sunlight and water. You cannot give a child too much love during their formative years. In fact, the more love you give, the stronger and more confident the child will grow. But when love is withheld, it creates deficiencies that manifest in adulthood. These deficiencies can lead to insecurity, fear, and a constant need for approval. Consider the challenges faced by children in underprivileged environments, where love and support are often lacking. These children grow up without the encouragement and guidance they need, setting them up for a difficult life as adults. Even in more privileged situations, parents who are too busy to spend time with their children can unintentionally contribute to these issues. Children are born with two remarkable attributes. They are fearless and they are spontaneous. They come into this world with a natural curiosity and a desire to explore, unafraid of what they might find. They have only two innate fears: the fear of loud noises and the fear of falling. Everything else is learned. Sadly, some parents unknowingly instill additional fears in their children. They might think it's funny to scare their child or to push them into doing something they're not ready for. But these actions can create deep-seated fears that stay with the child for life. For example, a parent might drop a child suddenly, thinking it's a playful act, but it can instill a fear of heights, falling, or even movement. Similarly, loud noises can startle a child and create a sense of anxiety. As children grow, they learn by imitating their parents. If a mother is calm, organized, and in control, her children perceive the world as orderly and secure. But if she is anxious, worried, and easily upset, the children learn to see the world as chaotic and frightening. This early learning shapes their behavior and mindset for life. Interestingly, children also develop patterns based on the emotional environment they are raised in. If they grow up in a household where love is conditional, they start to believe they must constantly please others to be accepted. This leads to a compulsive need for approval, which can cripple them in adulthood, making them hypersensitive to criticism and rejection. In selling and business, for example, the most successful people are those who are bold and willing to take risks. But if you're paralyzed by the fear of rejection, you'll never reach your full potential. This fear is often rooted in childhood experiences where love and acceptance were conditional. But there's hope. The more you repeat to yourself, "like myself," the more your self-esteem will grow and your fears will diminish. This is one of the most powerful concepts you can learn. Imagine your emotions like a scale. When your self-esteem goes up, your fears go down. And as your fears diminish, your ability to take action and embrace opportunities increases. Remember, there's no such thing as failure, only feedback. When you encounter obstacles, they're not there to block you, but to teach you. This mindset is key to becoming the best version of yourself, a self-actualizing person who is focused on growth and learning.
Thank you for joining us today. If you found this talk inspiring, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, leave a comment below, and share this video with others who might benefit from these powerful insights. Remember, every step you take towards improving your self-image is a step towards a better, more fulfilling life. See you in the next video.